Welcome to another edition of Right on Rangers Live, coming at you Sunday, March 1st, going through the Rangers week of spring training. Weekend. We did a Thursday show, weekend of spring training. Of course, the Rangers playing the Mariners today. We're going to finish that out with you here. It is bottom of the ninth. Rangers lead this one 9-4. We've got Aiden Anderson, brother of Grant Anderson, on the mound for Texas right now, getting into a little bit of trouble. They have runners on first and second right now. Looks like Melo up to bat at this point. We'll bring you the rest of the game. Hopefully it ends without too much more fanfare, but it's good to see all y'all. Appreciate you hanging out. Now that spring training is upon us, we've been going Thursdays and we've been going Sundays, and it's been a pretty good rhythm. I've enjoyed it. Grant Anderson, Aiden Anderson getting a strikeout here from Melo. And so we have got the Mariners down to their final strike, but under their final out, and it looks like that is going to do it. Fly ball, right field, and that's a winner, man. Cue the I Like Texas music. Even in surprise, we'll take it. I think they're playing in Peoria today, actually. Rangers win this one, and they are going to improve their record to 5-5. Mariners, I believe, are dropping to 3-5. Maybe it's even 6-5 for the Rangers. 6-5, excuse me. 6-5 and 3-6 now. I mean, because records in spring training are oh so important. Am I right? We got a lot of good stuff to talk about today, man. I am very, very pumped with some of the different individual performances that I saw today. Tried to throw out as much as I could content-wise, videos of some of the major plays and happenings of today's game. I think a lot of people are going to be talking about Cam Cauley. I think we got to start there. I think that some people thought I was just hot taking when I said that Cam Cauley should potentially be a guy that the Rangers consider for one of their remaining spots, at least offensively. I think some people kind of thought I was a little crazy, kind of on one. I don't know. After watching the last few games that Cam Cauley has played in, I think you understand where the hype is coming from. He takes Logan Gilbert deep to start out the game early on in this one, turns on a fastball, screamer, gets out of the ballpark. One of the best pitchers in baseball, Logan Gilbert, the ace or one of the aces of the Mariners staff. Cam Cauley would go on to add a 98-mile-an-hour single into center field. This guy's got over 1,000 OPS on the spring. We can go ahead and dig into some of the numbers right now. Cam Cauley on the spring, 364 average, 1073 OPS. I mean, what's kind of wild is this isn't even one of the best OPSs so far in the spring. You've got guys like Aaron Zavala, who we're going to talk about in a little bit here. Tyler Wade, we're going to talk about him. You got a lot of guys that are having a really good start to their time in Surprise. But Cam Cauley, a right-handed bat. We talked about the fact that Cam really did well against lefties last year in the minors. I mean, that was kind of the thing. When we lost Miguel Andujar, the big question was, who are you going to replace that right-handed bat void with internally? And we talked about Sam Haggerty. I think Sam Haggerty is another guy you've got to bring up. Haggerty with another bomb the other day. I don't think there's any doubt Sam Haggerty is going to be playing every single game a left-handed starter is on the bump. But I also brought up kind of as a little bit of a lottery ticket, although I think that terminology is not quite giving him enough credit. I think I threw out Cam Cauley as a guy. Hey, look, this is the high upside, real young guy in the organization that maybe could be the answer against left-handed pitching. A guy that you could have come up, play a bit of a depth role, a bench role, and maybe even work his way into the starting lineup as a second baseman. We all love Smitty. We all love Josh Smith. He had a nice day today as well, and he is not by any means off to a bad start this spring. But I do think that there are a lot of question marks with Josh Smith at this point. I think a lot of people have seen the last 2 years. They've seen the hot start. They've seen the fades at the second half. And I think there's a number of Rangers fans just wondering, is this for real? And I do think that the second base spot is going to be a position that is up for grabs. at different points this year. You see Josh Smith on a 1 to 2 week downer. I feel like you're going to start hearing some questions. I feel like second base is a very fluid role. I think clearly Josh Smith, it's his opportunity to lose. He could take the bull by the horns and run away with second base. But if he does not get off to a hot start, I think you're going to be hearing a lot of noise about potential replacements. There's not a lot of tolerance right now in Ranger land for slow starts. We watched a number of key Rangers players last year start off their season complete dud. Jock Peterson comes to mind, Marcus Semien, Adolis Garcia, Jonah Heim. The list goes on. And so I don't think there's going to be a high tolerance level for guys like Josh Smith beginning their season hitting sub 200, hitting even sub 250, and not driving the ball, right? Not producing the extra base hits. Jamie, appreciate the gift, by the way. I think that a lot of people love Josh Smith, and I know that maybe me on this tangent right now comes off as a bit of a hater. By no means. I am cheering with all my heart for Josh Smith to succeed, but we try and lay out as many facts as we can. We try and lay out the reality here for you on the show. I think the reality is there's never been more pressure on Josh Smith to perform. I think I said it well last night. There's not been a time in Josh Smith's career where he's had this much pressure put on him. Josh Smith has to perform, and he has to perform pretty quickly. There are a number of internal options that I think many Rangers fans would feel comfortable stepping into a starting second base role. I think Sam Haggerty's one of them. Cam Cauley is slowly becoming another one of them. I think the question you have to ask yourself with a guy like Cam Cauley, there's two. First of all, you look at the other options that are available. You've got Cody Freeman, you've got Michael Helman, you've also got Ezekiel Duran, who had a nice base hit today in that sixth inning hit parade that the Rangers went on. 7 runs in the sixth inning today for Texas, by the way. That was a lot of fun. Felt like 2023 all over again, didn't it? When the Rangers, back in their World Series championship year, were putting those crooked numbers on teams all the time. Rangers would go down 5-0 in 2023, and you'd feel like they'd still have a chance to come back and win the ball game. Can't say that I've had the same feeling in 24 and 25, but I digress. I think with Cam, though, you think about Duran, you think about Helman, you think about Cody Freeman, who's injured right now, so I don't know if we can really include him in the discussion. But you just don't feel convinced by any of the bench options that Texas currently has. And so with Cam Cauley, I can say right now, Zeke Duran feels like a guy that still has potential, cannon arm, good fielder, has had some spurts in the big leagues of being hitterish, but I don't think Zeke has done enough with the opportunities that he has been given to really make you feel like he needs to be secure with his bench spot. I think Cam Cauley right now, a lot of Rangers fans would enjoy seeing him on the bench or filling a depth role over Zeke Duran. I think same thing for Mike Helman, and I think it's the same thing for, honestly, Alejandro Osuna and Cody Freeman, who are a bit different circumstances. Freeman being injured, Osuna kind of being blocked in the outfield as a left-handed outfielder. I just feel like there's not a lot of better options than Cam Cauley to fill your depth at the major league bench level. And here's the second thing that I want to pose to you. Bruce Bochy had a really good quote last year when asked about Alejandro Osuna, because we all know the big thing with prospects is, are you stunting their development by having them ride the bench? Are you stunting a prospect's development by having them be up at the major league level by not letting them play every single day? Bochy had a really interesting take that kind of shifted my perspective on this a little bit. I want to throw it your way. He said there can be just as much learning and developing from being around elite MLB talent and taking reps against elite MLB pitching, which you do. You'd have simulated games. You take a lot of live reps against the bullpen and the starter guys when you're up with the big league club. And so I really was at that point a little bit changed in how I think about the idea of bringing up a prospect, but not necessarily having an everyday role for them. I think there is a very strong benefit there for Cam Cauley coming up and being a bench guy and potentially filling in a bigger role one day. Josh Smith starts struggling. Who do you think they're going to try and plug in that spot? I mean, look, for me, I really do believe the development doesn't necessarily have to be stunted with a guy like Cam Cauley coming up to the big leagues. Playing every day in AAA, yeah, I'm sure that is going to also be good for timing reps. I can see both sides, but I'm not necessarily as opposed to the notion of Cam Cauley coming up as a depth piece versus playing every day in AAA. At some point, you've proven yourself. Right? I mean, at some point, Alejandro Osuna, Cody Freeman, Cam Cauley, they've proven they can hit minor league pitching. Now you get them up with the big league club, you get them around elite veteran players, and you allow them to learn and continue their development at that level. I think there is something to be said about that. I don't think it's as easy as saying, well, he's not playing every day, so you're stunting him. I don't think you can go there. One of the best managers in the game, Bruce Bochy, has essentially said, yeah, it can go both ways. You can still develop and learn even in a depth role as a prospect versus playing every day in AAA. And the Rangers had to balance that multiple times last year. They had Cody Freeman, who they had to balance everyday reps, depth up at the big league level. Alejandro Osuna was another one. There were numerous guys last year that you kind of felt like, man, this guy is too good for AAA. But, he just at the same time might need something more, something to challenge them, something to get them going in a different direction. I am definitely seeing Cam Cauley continuing to make this interesting. It does not look like he is slowing down at all. And Natalie, totally agree here. At some point, you got to be up at the big league level. You've proven you can hit AA, AAA pitching. I mean, Cam Cauley, he's hitting Logan Gilbert, taking him yard. It's clear the dude can hit some major league pitching. Yeah, say all you want at spring training, Logan Gilbert, whatever, not as sharp. Dude, a home run off Logan Gilbert is a home run off Logan Gilbert. Like, let's just be real. It's called a spade. That's not some nothing burger. I mean, this isn't some guy who is striving to make the roster, getting an NRI from AA in the Mariners system. This is one of their best pitchers and one of the best pitchers in baseball. It's clear Cam Cauley can hang. I'm very curious to see what kind of spring he has the rest of the way. All right, you guys are probably going to help lead the way with the discussion. I've got a ton of stuff that I want to talk about today, ton of stuff. But I want to say, first of all, thank you for hanging out. It's a beautiful Sunday here in Las Vegas. I'm sure it was a beautiful day down one state beneath me in Surprise. In Peoria today, I believe, actually. That's where the Mariners are based out of during spring training time. And I just want to say thank you for your support of the show. Trying to bring you the best Rangers content that I can, both in spring training, regular season, and hopefully the postseason this year. We've had 2 years off of postseason baseball. I'm not trying to make it 3. Let's see. Let me scroll back a little bit. Hey, Brian, what's good, man? Thanks for hanging out. Definitely ready for the WBC. That is going to be a lot of fun. I think that a lot of baseball fans in general are looking forward to that. Rangers do have a few players that are going to be active. Osuna will be there. Robert Garcia will be there. Krismet got hurt, I believe. I don't know if he's going to be playing anymore, and I feel like I'm missing one other guy that's going to be playing in the WBC. Like the hat, yeah, this is one of my favorite hats, for sure. One of my favorite hats. I've got a pretty massive hat collection. I think I've joked. I don't think it's actually a joke. I do think my hat collection is bigger than my wife's shoe collection. I may have a problem, but nevertheless. By the way, I did get that new hat that came out with the smaller logo. A lot of people were kind of making some noise about it. My wife actually surprised me and got it for me just to kind of begin the season. She's super sweet and thoughtful like that, but it's actually a really nice hat. I'm a big fan of it. I'm going to have to wear it on the Thursday show. I think it's somewhere laying around in the house right now, but big fan of that blue hat with the real small T logo. It's actually a pretty sweet one. All right, let me keep going. So our bench guarantees are one catcher and Haggerty. Yes, Zachary, that's basically what we're talking about here. You've got Haggerty and you've got Jansen. I think Higgy is probably starter right now, but maybe it's going to be a 50-50 thing with Higgy and Jansen. I don't think anybody would be shocked by that. So, yes, it's basically 2 bench spots available. And you've got Duran, you've got Osuna, you've got Helman, you've also got Freeman, who's hurt right now. A lot of people like Freeman, myself included. Schumacher has talked up Cody Freeman as well. And now you've got a guy like Cam Cauley, who is coming on strong this spring. I don't know that he makes the opening day roster. I think he's playing well enough to contend for that. I think Cam is definitely going to be up at some point this year. I think he will make his major league debut at some point in 2026. But at this point, again, let me throw out the question. Would you rather see Duran or Cauley? I don't think that is really a super difficult question. I think a lot of us, we've seen a lot of Duran. We have seen a lot of some of the guys that the Rangers already have right now. We definitely, I think, could use an injection, some new blood. I am for Cam Cauley. If he continues this, he doesn't have to hit a home run and a single every single day. But if he continues swinging a consistently good bat this spring, he's going to be hard to keep away. Hey, Matt, good to see you, man. I agree. It's just good to win. Like, I know we've talked about this. Preseason baseball, spring training baseball, you got some Debbie Downers. No stats matter. Spring training, it doesn't matter at all. I mean, come on, man. Do you hate the game? I mean, I really don't know what else I can say if you're not pumped up about spring training games and results. If you constantly feel the need to be that realist and pull people back to reality when they're getting excited about players doing well, I don't know. This isn't the place for you, I guess. I definitely have said and been pretty consistent saying with guys like Corey Seager, with guys, like Jacob deGrom, Nathan Eovaldi, I'm not necessarily reading into those stats as much. But for guys like Cam Cauley that are trying to make a name for themselves, that are trying to make the roster, I think you have to look into those stats. Those guys are giving all they can, and they're playing major league talent. It's not a nothing burger, to use that expression once again. It's not nothing that Aaron Zavala is hitting 1470 for the OPS right now. It's not a nothing burger that Tyler Wade has a 1580 OPS. I mean, these guys are trying to make a team, and they're facing major league pitching. I'm not going to just discard that like it's nothing. Yeah, Corey Seager, Jacob deGrom, they're working on some different things, tweaking the swing, tweaking the delivery, playing around with the pitcher too. Okay, sure. But for guys that are NRIs, minor league players, getting signed to minor league deals, trying to get on a 40-man, I don't know how you just totally discard what they're doing. I don't, at least, and you shouldn't either. We keep going here. Appreciate all you guys hanging. Zavala definitely looking good, too. I'm with you on that. 3 hits today for Aaron Zavala. Very, very impressive. 3 hits today for him. He went single, triple, single. Was hoping he'd get another AB in the top of the 9th. Didn't come to fruition, but Aaron Zavala is in a tough place, right? He is kind of blocked right now with the surplus of lefty outfielders the Rangers currently have. I mean, you've got Osuna, you've got Nimmo. When they added Nimmo, that kind of, to me, really sealed Osuna's fate a little bit. I don't think Alejandro Osuna is going to be starting up at the major league level. They don't really have a spot for him. Tyler Wade is going to have a tough time too, being a left-handed hitter. He can play all over the field, throws right, but bats left. Wade is having such a good spring. I love these stories. Like, this is like kind of the romantic part about baseball, in my opinion. Like, you just love these stories of guys that just come out firing, man. It's just fun. Every guy dreams of having their shot and really making their mark. And it is just so uplifting to see some of these guys making the most of their opportunities. Tyler Wade is one of them. It's going to be a really interesting finish. The roster squeeze is real. There are some tough decisions to be made, no doubt. No doubt. This is a big question. What you've got for leash for some of these players. We've talked about Jock Peterson. What's the leash going to be for Jock Peterson this year? I think that Jock Peterson, if he's 3-4 weeks in and batting sub 200, I don't think the Rangers are going to be hanging with that. I don't. I don't think the Rangers are going to be hanging with a sub 200 Jock Peterson for very long. And so I do think that even with guys like Josh Smith, it's going to be a very short leash. I think if Josh Smith struggles the first month of the season, the calls to put somebody else in there is going to be pretty loud. You'll probably hear it from me. Rangers can't afford to give a super long runway really to anybody not named Wyatt Langford, Corey Seager. I think maybe Brandon Nimmo is a part of that little trio. Everybody else, do you really feel like need a long leash at all? Evan Carter, I hate to say it, I don't think Evan Carter is going to get thrown out there every single day, forever and ever, every ball game if he's struggling. I don't think Josh Young is going to be playing every single day without fail if he's hitting a $175 and it's May 1st. I think there are a lot of guys right now, question marks, that aren't necessarily going to be guaranteed a super long runway to figure it out. The Rangers just have too many other options available. We'll see what happens, man. Keep going. Let me see. No concerns with Jock. I think he bounces back. Garrett, I wish I had your optimism. I really do. I hope you're right, man. I'm not saying that I think Jock is going to be bad, but I can't say I'm feeling like a Jock breakout season, but I do think he will be better. It'd be hard not to be better than what he was last year. And I'm not saying that to be a troll, but it'd be hard to duplicate how bad 2025 was for Jock Peterson. I think he'll be sufficient. I think it'll be, workable, but I'm not sure he bounces back to 2024 levels. I think that would be a bit of a stretch. Big Tex, I'm with you. I like Tyler Wade. Now, Wade can play infield, but it's just tough. Like the lefty bat situation. You've already got Josh Smith. Josh Smith is that lefty Swiss Army knife. Tyler Wade kind of feels like the same thing. And I don't really know with a lefty heavy lineup already. I just don't know if Tyler Wade is really going to have a spot, a position. Going back to what I was saying about the outfielders, when they acquired Brandon Nimmo and replaced a right-handed bat in Adolis Garcia and Marcus Semien, honestly, 2 right-handed bats with Brandon Nimmo, basically, right? That's how I look at it. You replace 2 right-handed bats in your lineup, Semien and Garcia, with Brandon Nimmo. And so I don't think that there's going to be a ton of room for lefties like Tyler Wade, like Alejandro Osuna in this lineup without there being some kind of injury. That being said, I really like Tyler Wade and what I've seen from him so far. Versatile, but unless Josh Smith goes down with an injury, I just don't see Tyler Wade being a guy that is going to have a spot. Just the nature of it, right? We keep going. Appreciate it. What do I got? Luis, what's good, man? Thanks for hanging. How's Bradford? I don't think he is off track by any means. I think he is. I thought he's going to be back in May sometime. That's what I thought I heard. Maybe sooner. Does anybody have a better timetable on Cody Bradford? I thought I had read he's going to be back in May. He's doing a little throwing program, but not going to really ramp it up until April, start facing guys, and then maybe around May he'll return. That's what I had heard last. You guys let me know if you've heard some more recent information on Cody Bradford. Keep on going. JJ, what's good, man? Thanks for hanging out. Brandon Aubrey, $10 million. Yeah, I can go Brandon Aubrey highest paid. I don't know if we're going double-digit million for Brandon Aubrey, man. That seems a little steep. A little steep. All right, we keep going. Latz and Alexander look good today. Yeah, look, Latz gives up the 2-run bomb. And by the way, when I'm posting during the game, a lot of it is fun. My post once he hit the bomb is, man, nobody wants this 5th starter spot. Nobody wants to take this 5th starter spot. And look, obviously it's tongue-in-cheek. We're being a little sarcastic. Jacob Latz, we know you give up 1 home run in this league, it doesn't mean you're trash. So definitely said somewhat tongue-in-cheek. But Latz did a great job bearing down after he gives up the 2-run bomb to Cole Young, comes back. I think he retired 7 or 8 in a row. Jacob Latz, I think, without a doubt, needs to be the number 5 starter. I don't think Kumar Rocker at this point has shown you enough in spring. I don't think he showed you enough last year. I think Rocker needs a really solid run, maybe a solid month or two in AAA. You want to see, an ERA in the low 3s or the 2s, and then maybe Rock comes up at some point in May or June. I think Jacob Latz has shown you this guy can give you a quality start pretty consistently at the major league level. And so Latz is absolutely my number 5. I don't think it's really a close competition. Barring an injury, I think he needs to be there. Which brings me to the bullpen situation. I mean, we're talking about Tyler Alexander here. Tyler Alexander, 2 scoreless innings today, had a strikeout against a right-handed batter today that I posted about. That was nice. I don't know that you want to have Tyler Alexander as your only other left-handed option. You've got Robert Garcia potentially in the closer role, and then you've got Tyler Alexander. I don't know how great I feel about that. This is no shade at Tyler, but it is nice for you to have one other power arm type lefty. Rangers, you look at the farm, there's a few guys. There's definitely a few guys I think that you can look at and you feel encouraged by, but at the same time, inexperienced. If you make Garcia the closer, Tyler Alexander is your only other matchup lefty. I don't know if that is going to work out great, and it's a reason I suspect they probably go with Chris Martin in the closer role to start. I don't think you want Tyler Alexander as your only other high leverage lefty arm. Tyler, I think if you're just being fair here, it's not that he can't do it, doesn't have the potential to do it, but if you just look at Tyler Alexander's numbers over the past couple of seasons, it's not necessarily screaming lockdown lefty. It doesn't mean that he can't have a really good 2026, but let's be fair based on the numbers. Tyler Alexander is not screaming lockdown lefty right now. I would like to see Chris Martin start in the closer role, maybe Cole Winn, maybe another one of the young arms, Baumler, develops into a late inning, a 9th inning guy. But right now, I think you want the flexibility. I think you want Tyler Alexander and Robert Garcia available in high leverage lefty spots. If you have to throw Tyler Alexander in the 6th inning with runners on first and second, 2 outs against a tough lefty, great. And you still have Garcia available in the 7th or the 8th to do the same thing. And then, of course, you let your closer eat. Some of y'all were saying, you kind of want to see matchups. I do not want to see the Rangers do closer by committee. I've been very firm on that. I think we've seen how closer by committee can go. It's not awesome. It's very volatile. I don't want to see the Rangers do closer by committee again. I'd like to see them stick with one set guy who knows their role and then let them work it out. They tried to do that last year with Luke Jackson, and it went well for a little bit, but Luke Jackson, just not enough swing and miss. It just did not go well. And this year, I think they need to go in with a set guy. I think C-Mart would be great. And then you have the flexibility. Garcia, Alexander against high leverage lefties. We keep on going. Latz was working on his slider in the first, allegedly. That was the hanger, right? I think Latz hung the slider that Cole Young deposited into the seats, actually onto the grass, whatever it is, the berm out there, bullpen, I don't know. Whatever it was. Yeah, that was kind of a no-doubter. Would think by the end of May. Chatty, appreciate that. Cody Bradford's scheduled to throw 2 50-pitch bullpens this week. He'll throw 2 55 pens the week after that. So there's the Cody Bradford update. I don't know if you're still around. I know somebody was asking about it. But yeah, Cody Bradford, probably May. So I was kind of right. I think I said beginning of May. Mace, thanks for that update. Chatty, appreciate you as well. Eagle, I don't know if you're still hanging out. Good to see you, man. It is baseball season. The calendar has turned to March. It feels like baseball season, baby. Thoughts on Cam Cauley? I already waxed poetic about Cam, but I'll do it again. Shoot. Y'all know this is like becoming the hype channel for Cam Cauley. I mean, let's be real. Cam Cauley had a phenomenal day today. The home run against Logan Gilbert, so impressive. I don't care if it's spring training. Don't let anybody tell you that it's not a big deal. It is, man. You hit a bomb off of one of the best pitchers in baseball. It's impressive. It doesn't matter if it's in the spring. Yeah, Logan Gilbert, maybe he's working on something. To be fair, Logan was pitching pretty well before he ran into Cam Cauley. He was shutting down a number of the Rangers hitters. Then Cam comes up, and that was the beginning of the end for Seattle in this one. Rangers got out to a lead after that, especially in that 6th inning where they scored 7 runs. I just think Cam Cauley, if he continues to play this way, there's going to be a lot of noise for this guy to get an opportunity over some of the same guys that have gotten opportunities the past 2 years and just have not taken the bull by the horn. Zeke Duran feels like he has been a bench guy for 3 years, and you don't feel really any better about him at this point. You don't feel a whole lot better about Zeke Duran 2023 versus 2026. In fact, you might feel a little bit worse. I think Zeke Duran at certain points had been a really solid guy against lefties. Last year was bad against lefties for Zeke. Like, he was better against righties. Like, Zeke has to be a good guy off the bench who can handle left-handed pitching. Zeke just, to me, is not taking advantage of the opportunities. And I think you've got guys like Cam Cauley, think Little Rascal energy, right? I know some of us are a little torn on the Little Rascal name, myself included, but think about that. Just new energy, man. I like that. There's something about that I really can appreciate. And you saw the Rangers when they had the Little Rascals in the lineup nearly every day. They went on that 16-4 run where it looked like they might find a way to sneak into the playoffs. Then Adolis Garcia came back and, well, you know the rest. So Cam Cauley getting up to the show, I'm in favor of. Look, there's clearly about 2.5 weeks, 2.5 weeks left here. Maybe 3, I guess, 3.5. So there's a lot that can happen. I mean, Cam could fall off the face of the earth. I mean, it's baseball. It's a tough sport. It's a cruel sport at times. But if he continues to give you this consistent production, the noise will be loud for him to make a roster spot, no doubt. We'll keep going. Schedule for the first month is brutal. Phillies, O's, Yankees, Mariners. It's going to be really tough. I was looking at that too, Matt. I'm glad you brought it up. I do think that the Rangers, their first month is going to be one of those where if they can just float around 500, you're going to be really happy. I think that the Rangers, if they can make it out of March, maybe a game or two below 500, March and maybe the first few weeks of April, they can make it out within striking distance of 500, whether it's a little bit above 500, a little bit below. I think that is going to be a win. This schedule is for real. I mean, you look at some of those names, Phillies, O's, Yanks, Mariners, it's not going to be a cakewalk. Granted, you love the pitching. You love the potential for bounce backs. It's definitely not impossible. I think I said it a lot last year, and there were some people that kind of laughed at me at times, but there was really nobody in the American League that I looked at that really felt like it's just an unbeatable opponent. The Yankees did not feel unbeatable. The Blue Jays did not feel unbeatable. Right? The Orioles were not as good last year. I think they came on a little bit strong at the end. Clearly not unbeatable. Red Sox, same thing. We took care of the Red Sox at different times last year. The Mariners did not feel unbeatable. The Astros did not feel unbeatable. The Royals, the Guardians, a lot of these teams in the AL, it's not that they're bad teams, but nobody feels like leaps and bounds ahead of Texas to me. And call that a homer take if you want. I don't think it is. I think the Rangers were very, very bad offensively last year, almost inexplicably bad. And if they just would have even had a mid offense, they probably are playing in October. Nobody in the American League right now feels like Juggernaut just can't match up. I'm not saying that the Rangers are better than every single team that I just named. Don't get it twisted, but I am saying the Rangers can compete with the Phillies. They can compete with the Orioles. They can compete with the Yankees. They can compete with the Mariners. I mean, shoot, against the Phillies, they're going to be throwing Jacob deGrom, Nathan Eovaldi, and Mackenzie Gore. That sounds pretty formidable to me. Seattle doesn't feel unbeatable unless we're playing in the house of horrors that is T-Mobile Park. Anytime the Rangers have to go to the Northwest, I cannot say I ever feel great about how they are going to do. When they have to go to, well, it was Oakland at one point, right? Oakland, San Francisco, shoot, even Sacramento now where the A's play. Sacramento, San Francisco, Seattle. If they have to go to any one of those three places, I'm never feeling awesome about it. Ever. But beyond that, give me the Mariners in Arlington. I mean, look, the Mariners beat us in Arlington. Wasn't that the series where they had like 3 extra inning wins? I mean, it just proves my point. The Rangers can hang with anybody. I mean, look, the Dodgers, when the Rangers played the Dodgers last year, Doley walked them off one time, and then every other game was close. These guys can hang with many different teams in baseball. There are not teams, by the way, that you can say the same exact thing about. Not every team, I feel like, can stack up against any team in baseball and have a shot to win. But, it is a beautiful game in that way. The Rockies can knock off the Dodgers. It doesn't happen a lot. Over the course of a season, it's probably not going to happen as many times as the Dodgers are going to blow out the Rockies, but that is the beauty of baseball. Not high on the Yankees. Look, it's going to depend on Jazz. Is Jazz going to have another great year? I think he was talking, 40-40 or 50-50? Talk that talk, my guy. Let's see how Jazz Chisholm does. They've got Bellinger. They're going to be good. I don't know that they're World Series good. A lot's probably going to depend on Garrett Cole and how Garrett Cole comes back from his Tommy John surgery. They've got some good young pitching. Mace, I'm not saying that I totally disagree with you. The Yankees, to me, feel like an ALCS team. They feel like a team that can get to the ALCS. I know the Mariners made it last year, and the Blue Jays made it as well. Yankees do strike me as a team that could make the ALCS quite easily. Make it to the World Series, win the World Series. Don't know about that. Keep going. Appreciate all you guys hanging out. I did get this on New Era, by the way. Yes. Not quite like Jacob. Got this on New Era. I vacillate between New Era and Fanatics, but sometimes I'll go through Fanatics and I'll be like, man, just not seeing anything I like. And then I'll get on the New Era app and they've got like a couple of just different variations. And you're like, okay, here we go. This was one of them. Love this hat. Let me see here. Yeah, Bubba, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for the positive feedback. Appreciate that. Thanks for the kind words. Dodgers 3-peat. Wouldn't shock me. Steven, appreciate the follow, man. Thank you. Cowboys making some moves. Always good to see all y'all, by the way, who are brand new to the channel. We do a little Cowboys talk, do a little Mavs talk. I'm originally from the DFW area, grew up in Arlington, went to Arlington High. So, I mean, all my favorite teams are DFW teams. Cover the Longhorns as well during the college football season. Don't do a lot of basketball. Maybe I'll do a little March Madness. I don't know. I felt like more and more as time has gone on, I've focused the channel a little bit more on Rangers and the sports and the teams that I really, really love watching every single game or most games. And so, look, we'll see what happens. But a little bit of everything on the channel, but always going to be Rangers #1 for sure. All right, what do we got? Have you been watching any Longhorns baseball? They're looking good. Mason, yes, I have been keeping up with the Longhorns baseball team. I've watched a couple of games so far, and I keep up with it on my phone pretty much every night. But the Longhorns with Schlossnagle are always going to be competitive. I just don't see them not being a perennial contender with that guy at the helm. I know he's a bit of a controversial figure, but Coach Schloss, yeah, he's legit for sure. Hey, a lot of people liking the hat. New Era, man. I need my own code. Get a couple of pennies kicked back to me. Give y'all the link. This is a great hat, though. Highly recommend. Highly recommend. Has Nimmo played yet? I don't think Nimmo has played yet. I don't think he has. Or did I miss that? Y'all, it's been a lot of baseball trying to keep up with it. But I don't know if Nimmo has played in a spring training game quite yet. Correct me, check me on that, chat, if I don't have that right. But I don't think he has played. No, he hasn't. Okay, Holly got us. Yeah, I think I would have remembered that. Look, it bums me out that not more games are on TV. Like today, Love it, man. Sunday baseball, you got the game on. I know they probably don't feel like a lot of people are going to tune in for spring training. I beg to differ, man. I think everybody is just starved for baseball by this time. You have all of November, all of December, all of January, most of February. You almost have 4 months without baseball. There's so many diehards that are starved for watching some ball, watching their favorite team in action. I really wish they would have more of these games televised, man. I've been trying to give y'all as much of the vids that I can cut as quickly as I can cut them. I know not all of us have MLB TV, but fortunately, you had Seattle showing the video today, and we were able to get some video out to you guys. But I think the Rangers have a few more of those TV games, a lot of radio stuff, but man, I wish that they would put this on every day. Really do. It'd be fun. Just have it on in the background as you're going about your day. Be great. You're not going to watch every single pitch, but I just love having baseball on, man. It's special. Keep going. Every day Dodger game is on TV. Look, I kind of feel like you look up and you know, we used to joke about this every single show I would do after Rangers games last year. You go on MLB.com, and at the end of every show, I would always go on MLB and, you know, just stories from around the league. What else can we talk about? We talked about the Rangers game. What else is going on around MLB? And the running joke on the show was it's either going to be a Dodgers player or a Yankees player on the front cover. And I would say 9 times out of 10, it was. Occasionally, I think maybe twice I would look and the Rangers would be on there for something special. You know, DeGrom or Evaldi had just thrown, you know, an incredible game. Anyways, yeah, I do feel like certain teams get a little bit more airtime than others. I think, though, with the Rangers and Rangers network, they probably control a little bit more with their own sports network. And I think the Rangers, you'd have to ask them, what's the holdup? Why can't we get even a crude stream? Like the White Sox game a couple days ago, that was a very low quality stream, but it was a stream. It was baseball, and I did not complain. I think I saw a couple of people whining about it. I'm like, dude, at least we're watching it. I understand nothing is going to be good enough for anybody, but at least we had baseball on. So it does not bother me at all if I don't get to watch every single action shot. Give me pitcher, give me batter, maybe give me that opposite view from the press box. That's all I need. I can figure out the rest from MLB.com and the Game Day app, man. Just get baseball on, please. Whew. March 5th is when Nimmo is going to make the debut. Apparently, Jacob deGrom is going to be making his debut pretty soon, too. So there's that. What's up, everybody? Appreciate you guys. Let's go, Rangers. Shuckles, yes, sir. Thank you to everybody that's followed so far on the show today. We are about 45 minutes in. Rangers winning 9-4 today. By the way, a little bit of news here. You've got Josh Young and you've got Justin Foscue basically shut down for the next 8 to 12 days from baseball activities. Foscue, hammy, and I think Young is an adductor. So you've got some injuries already rearing their ugly heads, especially Josh Young, just not what you want to see. And even for Foscue was having a pretty good spring, and then he goes down with the injury. I said a couple weeks ago, I think it was about a week and a half ago, the door is wide open for Justin Foscue right now. Cody Freeman goes down with the back injury. Ezekiel Duran has done not enough. Let's not say nothing. Let's say not enough to convince you that he has to be inked in onto a bench spot. The door was wide open for Justin Foscue. So the fact that he goes down injured, it's not that he can't recover and get back into it, but man, it just felt like he was really starting to cook, heat up, and maybe he could have been a guy that plugged in on the bench next to Jansen and Haggerty. Josh Young, you're hoping this is just mainly preventative, but you don't want to see a guy like Young mentioned in any breath with injury, time off, missing games, because it's just plagued him all too much over the last couple of seasons. Hopefully Josh Young comes back and he maintains the pace and the rhythm that he had to start spring training. Dude was absolutely smoking the ball all over the yard. Felt like every baseball coming off Josh Young's bat was 101 plus. Just so unfortunate that injuries are a part of this game and sometimes limit players. You're going to have to keep your eye on this one. And this is a big reason why a guy like Cam Cauley is getting a little bit more traction, at least on this channel, for potentially being a player that could step into a bench role at the major league level. You've got Josh Young dealing with hammy. You've got, or an adductor strain. You've got Justin Foscue dealing with the hammy issue. Doors wide open, man. Who's going to step up and take it? So there's the injury news there. You've also got a couple of other standouts from today's game that I really wanted to make sure that we talked about. We talked a little bit about Aaron Zavala, his big day at the plate. Another guy that's kind of blocked, Osuna, Nimmo, Evan Carter, 3 lefty outfielders that are ahead of Aaron Zavala at this point. Just a tough spot for him to be in, but great to see him hitting 500 with a 1470 OPS to get things going. Kyle Higashioka, 0 for 3 today, 143 average, 365 OPS. Look, I don't think Higgy is going anywhere, and I don't think Danny Jansen is going anywhere either. I don't think that you read into these stats over the top too much, but man, it would sure be nice to see some good numbers next to Higgy's name. Danny Jansen, I think, is having a pretty decent spring so far. I know he had a home run several games ago, but you just love to see more production out of the catcher position. We've talked a little bit about Cooper Johnson. He is he's going to be the Round Rock Express starting catcher this year, I'm sure. Dude's got an elite arm. I would love to have that arm up at the major league level. Bat probably isn't quite there yet, but Cooper Johnson, he might be a guy next year with Higgy leaving that gets an opportunity. It might be Cooper Johnson's year. We'll see where Malcolm Moore is at. Malcolm Moore is obviously the bigger name than Cooper, but Cooper Johnson, good arm, elite, I would say definitely above average, if not elite arm, throwing out base runners, which is something that has been lacking big time in Arlington. He's a guy to watch, I think, for next year more so than this year. And then Tyler Wade, mentioned him, 1 for 2 today, 600 average, 1580 OPS. This is like playing easy mode on MLB The Show, man. Some of these numbers, pretty wild. Good for Mike Helman hitting the home run today. Mike Helman went deep. He had not been having a great spring training so far. Helman's a guy that's competing for a spot, man. I mean, he is hitting a $143, and that's with the home run today, 482 OPS. One of the little rascals from last year, despite being a little bit older. But Mike Helman, a guy who you'd like to be a contributor against lefties, right? A right-handed outfielder. Maybe he could spell Evan Carter against a really tough lefty. Maybe you have Evan Carter out there against, some of the lefties that are a little bit more manageable. But, hey, you got Tarek Skubal on the bump. Let's throw a righty in there. Let's give Evan a little maintenance day, Not that Evan is not up for the task. I'm sure he'd love to face Tarek Skubal, and maybe he would do well against him. But I think you're following the train of thought here. Mike Helman would be an ideal guy that you could throw in against lefty starters. He actually had reverse splits last year. He was better against righties. So you really wanted to see Mike Helman hit lefties well this year, or at least just have a good camp in general. Not the best camp so far for Mike Helman, but it's only been 11 games. You've got about 20 more left. There's still time, but he might find his way back to AAA if he is not able to start turning it on. Today was a good start, but you've got some other guys. You've got Zeke Duran. You've got Foscue. You've got Freeman. You've got a number of guys that could potentially be replacing him. Mark Canna, he's 286 so far this spring, 619 OPS. He had a base knock today. I mean, you've got some guys that are potentially going to step into that spot. Helman's going to have to earn it. We'll see what happens. Let's see. Brian says RSN needs to get it together, put the ST games on. What else are they doing right now? I kind of feel the same way. The only thing we've been able to come up with, and I would love to ask, maybe I can pull some strings and figure this out, but why wouldn't you want to at least get video going? I know you got to pay people. You got to pay the cameraman. You got to pay somebody to broadcast it, do the truck and do the, the electronic side of things, the digital side. But it doesn't make a lot of sense to me either, unless all these people are just getting paid by the hour and they just have nobody that's salary at all. I don't know. Like I said, the White Sox game on Friday, there were 2 cameras. There was a outfield camera that showed you pitcher, batter, and there was a press box camera that showed you most of the field, and of course the pitcher batter matchup's a part of that. 2 angles. I'm fine with that. I don't need to have like the full broadcast with replay like Seattle had today. Give me 2 cameras with the radio guys synced up on play-by-play. We're good. We're good. And look, it doesn't even need to be the usual radio guys. You could have a couple of interns do it. Shoot, have me do it. Fly me down. I'll call play-by-play. It's not going to be as smooth as Nadell and some of those guys up in the press box calling every single radio game. It's not going to be as smooth as Jared Sandler, but come on now. Give somebody a shot and just get baseball on the airwaves. That's all I'm saying. We keep going. Appreciate all you guys. Orioles may be good this season. I think they will be. Helman and Haggerty could be big for us. Hopefully Helman picks it up. Haggerty's been great. Haggerty didn't play today, but he had another home run. He is up among the leaders this spring with hits. And he has been very, very good against lefties out of the gate. He definitely needs to be starting every single day against left-handed pitching. Either you're subbing in for Josh Smith, or you're subbing in for Evan Carter against a tough lefty, or you're subbing in for Jock Peterson doing some DHing. One of those. One of those, please. We'll keep going. Appreciate you. Drop a comment. If you got something you want to talk about from the game today, absolutely want to go through it with you. I'm definitely excited for this team too, Weston. I mean, there's going to be some people out there that don't want anybody to get too hyped up. And I've kind of gone back and forth. Like, I want so badly to believe that we're going to see a lot of bounce back this year, and we very well may. But I'm trying to temper the expectations a little bit. I can say this. I definitely have allowed myself to get excited about some of the young guys that the Rangers have up and coming. You know, we were talking about lefties in the bullpen. We were talking about Tyler Alexander. We were talking also about Robert Garcia. And the point was, hey, if Robert Garcia closes, all you've got is Tyler Alexander. That's the only lefty you have left to match up. A guy that I really enjoyed watching throw the baseball yesterday was Josh Trenadu. 96 mile an hour on the sinker. I mean, look, this guy kind of like reminded me with that sinker pitch, a little bit of Andrew Miller. You guys remember Andrew Miller? Pitched for the Indians, Guardians now, Indians at the time, pitched for the Cardinals. Kind of gave me a little bit of an Andrew Miller throwback. There's a couple of other lefties with that sinker ball that have done a really good job in MLB, but 96 on the sinker, man. You love that from a lefty, and he threw in some other good off speed too. Josh Trenadu, that could be a lefty internal option that you think about. Maybe not going to be on the opening day roster, but it's encouraging to see some of these young guys that the Rangers have getting an opportunity and then also taking advantage of it, right? Trenadu, to me, he is a sleeper. Mace, I'm 100% with you on this. 96 mile an hour sinker. A lot of lefties, they're going to give you, that low to mid 90s fastball. When I saw 96 on the sink, I'm like, okay, I can work with this. And you look at what the Rangers have right now in terms of lefties, it's a little bare at the major league level. I'm not saying Trenadu is going to, knock it out of the park in Major League Baseball this year, but just kind of a guy to look after. A guy that I think could come up and make a difference. You got that kind of heat and you're a lefty, that plays. That plays, 100%. Keep going. Tommy, hope all is well too, man. It's going to be fun. Rangers, Phillies. Tommy, you're going to have to be hanging out for like every single one of those lives, my guy. Phillies, Rangers to start the season. Enjoy Adolis Garcia. Enjoy Dolly. I don't know. How is Dolly doing this spring? Do we have an Adolis Garcia update? How is Adolis Garcia hitting this spring. Let's check this out right now. I want to get these numbers. I don't know if this is going to be good or bad. Looks like he's got a 227 average. That sounds about right. I don't want to turn this into any kind of hate or trolling, but yeah, that sounds about right. Spring training stats for Dolly. Here we go. 214 with a 500 OPS. Yikes. 500 OPS for Dolly. Look, it's a tough year for him, right? This is the last year of Adolis Garcia's, last year of club control, if you will. And then after this year, Adolis Garcia is an unrestricted free agent. Dolly's making a nice penny right now. I think he's making around $10 million, isn't he? But, man, 500 OPS to start spring, not what you want to see from Adolis Garcia at this point if you're a Phillies fan. Keep going. Ryan Lobus is another one. Yes, Mace, I saw Ryan throw some today. Man, that off speed that Lobus has, it's kind of like a cheat code against lefties, man. That off speed, MLB was going back and forth like slider curveball, but that off speed pitch that he throws in on the hands to lefties, that's like cheat code levels. You got a good fastball, but then you throw that off speed pitch in on the hands to left-handed hitters. And Lobus had 2 scoreless innings today. Man, it's a tough pitch. And what was beautiful about what Lobus was doing too is he would throw that high fastball and then he would throw that off speed. And if you were to just sync up those 2 pitches, it is hard to tell when he's throwing that high and inside fastball and then mixing in that off speed in on the hands to lefties. Talking about Ryan Lobus right now. It just freezes you. Like, even me watching, it's like he throws the pitch, and even out of his hand, it's tough to tell, is it going to be a fastball? Is it going to be an off-speed pitch? Because he's throwing it in nearly the same location, except the off-speed falls off the table and in on the hands. It was nice. It was fun to watch. I had not really gotten a chance to see Ryan Lobus have a consistent number of at-bats in front of me. It was fun watching him, especially against some major league hitting. Keep going. Who do I think our closer will be? I'm pretty sure it's going to end up being Chris Martin. That's what Skip Schumacher has said, at least. Chris Martin or Robert Garcia. If given the option of the two, I'm going to take Chris Martin over Robert Garcia. I do think MLB Trade Rumors made a good point the other day. Like, do you really want to make Garcia the closer and then all you have left is Tyler Alexander for your lefty? So if you need, to strike out Kyle Schwarber in the series against the Phillies in the 7th inning, you got to throw Tyler Alexander out there, right? Or you burn Robert Garcia in the 7th inning. It's tough. I think Aiden Anderson and Grant Anderson related. Now, you didn't mishear that. Yeah, Alstrom definitely struggled a little bit today. He had some really good outings this spring. It just feels tough for some of these guys. And I know that I'm contributing to it, and I want to be careful. I don't really like to err on the side of negativity in the spring. I try to hype guys up more than I bring anybody down. So like Robbie today was walking some guys, loaded the bases, got a couple runs across. Just wasn't his best day. But you know what? So far, by and large, really positive spring from him. And I still really like the arm. You just know that these guys have such a thin margin for error. A guy like Robbie Alstrom has to have a lights out spring to really catch the attention of some of the guys in the front office to make them potentially think about getting him on the roster. And that's not being unfair to Robbie. I think that Robbie is a great arm, and I think he had a great year last year in AAA. Watched him pitch in Vegas. That was a lot of fun. Watched a lot of these guys pitch in Vegas when they came out here to play the Aviators. But I just feel like with some of these minor league guys that are getting the NRI, you have very, very limited mistakes available, very limited mulligans at your disposal. You have to be pretty darn near lights out if the club wasn't really planning on you making the roster in the first place. Keep going. Dan, what's up, man? It has been a while. Good to see you. Yeah, Martin, by the way, appreciate the comments, man. Great to see you. Love you. Martin, for me, has definitely been a guy who, if healthy, is someone I trust and I think is reliable. I think with Martin, it is just consistency with health. If Martin is healthy and on the bump, I feel pretty good with the amount of swing and miss that he generates. I think I put out a reel 3 weeks ago talking about Chris Martin here, Rangers closer potentially. I mean, his strikeout ability, his chase percentage was higher than Tarek Skubal's last year. I mean, Chris Martin gets a ton of swing and miss. Chris Martin's chase percentage was better than Paul Skeens last year. Chris Martin is elite with the swing and miss. Chris Martin is everything you would want in a closer, right? He is going to make guys strike out. He is going to miss a lot of bats. He just has to stay healthy. Not even lying about those stats. Better chase percentage than Skubal and Skeens last year, Chris Martin. When he was on the field, when he was on the mound, the dude was good. We just were holding our breath every single pitch. Is something going to pop in that elbow? Is he going to tweak something? That was what you didn't like. And then that really screws you over potentially. If you're in a big spot in a one-run game, you throw Chris Martin out there, he throws a few pitches and hurts himself, you're up a creek. So that, to me, I think is the biggest knock on Chris Martin. If he's healthy, though, I don't think there's a whole lot of other guys you would really like closing. Cole Winn, I've thrown out there. I think Cole Winn continues to get better and better. I think he could be a guy that does a lot of high leverage. But Chris Martin, if he's healthy and good to go, I'm all for him being the closer. Keep going. Are there any bullpen spots open? I think right now there are bullpen spots open. It would appear that Carter Baumler is going to make the opening day roster, a Rule 5 pick, and I'll save you all the boring stuff. But if you're a Rule 5 pick, the Rangers got Carter Baumler in the Rule 5 draft, you have to add to the roster, and then I believe have to make the opening day roster or potentially could get sent back. So Baumler is most likely going to be on the opening day roster, barring a massive meltdown in spring. And I think a lot of people should be a fan of that move. Baumler, upper 90s fastball, curveball's been filthy this spring. I think Baumler is going to be a guy that finds himself in the middle innings, maybe potentially in a setup role. I think him and Wynn could be kind of your primary setup guys. And then you throw in Robert Garcia as kind of that lefty specialist in a setup role. I think that could be a really elite back end of the bullpen. I know it's not one that a lot of people are talking about, and you might call it a homer pick or a homer take, but for me, I do think the Rangers absolutely could have a very high ceiling with the back end of their bullpen if Chris Martin can stay healthy. If he can stay healthy, I think they've got a really good closer with elite swing and miss potential. Robert Garcia in a lefty specialist role, matching up against the best lefties on the opposition. I like him in that spot, and I trust Baumler and Wynn. Spores, I think, is going to have a tough time. I know that a lot of y'all like Spores. I love Sporsy. Love Sporsy. He's throwing 93. I just don't think right now there's a really big need for Josh Spores based on the other guys that you have. Like, you've got Baumler. You got Collier. Collier's pumping upper 90s. The Rangers have all these right-handed dudes that can pump upper 90s, man. Like, I just don't know if there's going to be a spot for Josh Spores. As much as we love the guy, he's a Rangers legend, helped close out the World Series in Game 5. Nobody's going to take that away from him. And trust me, I'm rooting for him. That's one thing that some of y'all that are brand new to the show, I just don't want anybody to get twisted. I'm going to tell it to you like it is, but I'm rooting for all these guys. Like, I want to see Sporsy make it, but I just see a really difficult path when you've got all of these dudes, all these horses out in the pen that can pump upper 90s. And Spores is having trouble hitting 93. right? Jacob Junis, right? I mean, Zach, that's another guy who was just on the tip of my tongue. Like, you got Junis that can pump upper 90s as well. So you've got all these righties that are flamethrowers, and then you've got Sporzy, who used to be in that category, but post-injury has just had a really tough time getting back to that mid to upper 90s fastball. Last year, that was the issue with Josh Sborz. He was sitting low 90s, 92, 93, and that was what really kept him from getting back to the major league level. Mace, let's see who you got. I was actually going to ask you. Baumler, Diaz, Junis, Martin, Garcia, Wynn, Alexander. Last spot, we shall see. So let me look here. Mace, give me your pick. Who's going to get the last spot? Like, if you had to make a call today, who is going to get the last spot? Baumler, Diaz, Junis, Martin, Garcia, Wynn, Alexander. Who's your pick? Who do you think? I'm kind of curious. I think he's spot on, by the way. I think he is spot on these names. The last spot, I do agree. That's going to be interesting. Mace, you got a pick? Let me know, buddy. I know I'm putting you on the spot. Yeah, 93, it's just not going to work. I think Sborz is going to need to spend some time in Round Rock, maybe try and get that velocity up a little bit. Maybe he gets a little bit fortunate with some injuries, unfortunately for the big league club, but fortunately for him, I don't know. I think it is going to be tough. Cole Wynn's definitely in the mix. Matt, Mace had Cole Wynn on the list. Again, it's Baumler, Diaz, Junis, Martin, Garcia, Wynn, Alexander. Robbie Alstrom snags the last spot. That'd be interesting. A lot does hang. Mace makes a good point. We got YouTube comments coming in, by the way, on TikTok. He makes a good point. Like, if they decide that Kumar Rocker is the fifth starter, Latz is probably the one that rounds out the bullpen there. And that would actually be a pretty formidable pen. But Robbie Alstrom, he's another lefty. There's potential there. I do think the Rangers need another lefty. So that's why I think Mace might be onto something here. Mason Hoven, by the way, great follow on X. Follow him over there. Mason, I think you're on a couple other socials too. Great follow. Writer for the Prospect Times. Shout out to the Prospect Times as well. Prospect Times, a lot of good stuff. I go to them a ton for all my prospect information. Highly recommend. Go follow them, please. But I think you've got Alstrom with a bit of an open door because of the Rangers' need for left-handed pitching, especially if they give the spot in the rotation to Jacob Latz. If Latz is your fifth starter, I don't know if you want just two lefty options out there. Look, Robbie didn't have a great game today. It happens. If he can be consistent, though, over the course of the spring, I wouldn't mind a Robbie Alstrom out. I've seen Robbie throw in person. Robbie is a mid-90s fastball guy. I'm sure he can ramp it up and maybe touch 96. I don't know if he's got 97 or not. I'm sure he could if he was given everything he had, but we're just talking topping out consistently, throwing without overthrowing. I think Robbie can give you a good mid-90s fastball, and he throws a devastating slider at times. I mean, that Robbie Alstrom slider to lefties is filth. It is. And so Robbie did not have a great game today, but it's a long spring training. I would not mind Robbie Alstrom in a role like that. I really wouldn't. And I think Robbie would potentially be that lefty specialist guy. I'm not sure Robbie is going to be coming in against a ton of righties, but I think he is a guy that you would potentially count on there. Now, the thing with Robbie is he's not on the 40-man. Robbie is not on the 40-man. So you would have to make a move. Rangers options who are on the 40-man, you've got guys, like Curvello and Corniel, although I think Corniel's dealing with some injury stuff right now. But there's some other guys. Mark Church, I think he's going to start throwing. Mark Church is on the 40-man. Let's see, other guys in the Davalillo is on the 40-man. You've also got, let me see, there's one other, Leandro Lopez. He's on the 40-man. So that's the only tough thing about the Robbie Alstrom ad is that he's not on the 40-man. And so you'd have to make a move. You'd have to drop somebody in order to make that happen. Now, lefties that the Rangers have available that are currently on the 40-man that we didn't name, you got to think also about, Cody Bradford's role. What's Cody Bradford going to be doing when he comes back in May? Is he going to be starting? Is he going to be in the pen? That is yet to be seen. The Rangers, though, they really do not have another young lefty in the organization that's on the 40-man right now. Robbie Alstrom would kind of be it, but you've got Cody Bradford and Jordan Montgomery in tow recovering from injury. That's about it. We keep going. I think Gomber is going to get DFA'd. I don't see Gomber. I mean, maybe he wants to do the AAA thing, but a guy like Gomber, I kind of feel like they're going to honor whatever he wants to do. If there's an opportunity for Austin Gomber to potentially help out a major league club, I'm sure he's going to do that. Right now, I don't really feel like there's a spot for him. Maybe he's okay doing Round Rock, doing AAA for a little while and getting an opportunity at some point. But I feel like they might decide, hey, it didn't work out. Let me go ahead and get on with another team that might be able to give me an opportunity. Bobby Garcia equals Cy Young. Mick J, that was freaking hilarious when we were watching those games together last year. Bob Garcia rearing his ugly head. Robert Garcia, of course, who we're talking about. Man, RG was so good at times last year. It bums me out that Robert Garcia just had those ninth inning melts that just stick in your head. Just like a terrible bad smell, man. Terrible taste in your mouth when you lose those ones in the ninth inning. Robert Garcia really wasn't that bad last year. It's just we have so many painful memories. He's given up walk-off homers to Randy Arozarena and Crawford in back-to-back games up in Seattle. Robert Garcia's numbers actually weren't all that bad. Let's see. What else we got? Anything? Why hasn't Seager been in the lineups recently? I just think they're taking their sweet time with Seager. Like, I don't think that there's anything wrong with him. I just think they're going to baby guys like DeGrom, Seager, even Nimmo. They are going to make sure that these guys stay healthy. They're not going to push these guys hard, especially in Arizona in spring training. So I don't think there's much to make about that. Basics for a new fan to get into baseball. I want to start watching as a fan this season. Hey, baseball is great to watch. I always tell people baseball is so chill, man. I know they got the pitch clock now, but I just love with baseball, like, you just get to sit back. It's not every, single second. You got to be paying attention. I mean, I do because I do this for a living, but that's what I love about the game, man. Look, have fun. Rangers, hopefully, if you want to watch some Rangers games this year, tune in when Jacob deGrom's throwing. Tune in when Nathan Eovaldi and Mackenzie Gore throwing. I like Jack Leiter a lot too, but if you can watch some Rangers games when those three guys have the ball, it's going to be a lot of fun. Seager's been ill? Okay, I do remember reading about that. They had said that something was kind of going around the clubhouse, and they were just taking some precaution. Thank you very much. I appreciate the extra information. There's so much out there, especially when you got 60-something guys, at spring training. But I appreciate that. Good looking out. I did read that Seager was out with the illness, and I did also read that some of the other guys on the squad were dealing with it too. So there you go. But I think my point still stands. I don't think they're going to be pushing Corey Seager very hard. Keep going. Hey, Pete, good to see you, man. Appreciate you. Martin will probably be closer to start, hoping for good health. Tejano Country, Rick, appreciate you. Yeah, I think Martin is going to be the closer. I think especially if you don't add another lefty to the pen and you put Latz in the starting rotation, you want to have two lefties that can match up at any point before the ninth inning. Alexander, Garcia. If you got to throw, Alexander in the sixth inning with two on, you want to be able to have Garcia for the eighth inning, right? You want to be able to mix and match a little bit better. And if you have two lefties not in the closer role, it makes it a lot easier. Yeah, I don't think Quantrill is going to be making it either. I mean, maybe he gets another start and he starts impressing, but I think Quantrill has got an uphill battle for sure. I did throw out there, Zach, you kind of mentioned this in your comment here. I did throw out there, I wonder if he makes it through spring training. I mean, maybe it's pretty low likelihood. I know they've got a ton of arms right now. I don't think they're lacking in that department, but Sometimes guys get off to these bad starts. It's not unheard of, but, a lot of the times they end up finishing out the spring anyways. What are my thoughts so far on the team? Going to be really good in the pitching department again. I actually don't see the Rangers being as elite as they were last year. Least earned runs allowed in baseball. I would probably bet against the Rangers doing that again. However, I don't think they'll be any worse than a top 7 pitching staff, probably top 5. I'm being a little bit cautious. You don't know what's going to happen with health and all that, but at worst, I think Texas is a top 7 pitching staff. Top to bottom, we're talking about front end of the rotation to the back end of the bullpen. I think they're not going to be any worse than top 7. They could, they have the guys to be the best, to be top 3. They do. I just think, the odds are against them, right? You have record-setting season when it comes to defense and earned runs last year. It's just going to be tough to duplicate. I'm not saying it's impossible or they can't do it, but it's just going to be tough. Appreciate you guys. Hey, do me a favor. If you're on TikTok right now, double tap that screen a few times. If you haven't liked the live yet, I appreciate you, man. Just every little thing helps getting this stream out there to every Rangers fan possible. Thank you so much to you guys. If you haven't hit that follow button yet, thank you for hitting that follow button. I know these seem like little dumb things, but they really do make a big difference. Brad, appreciate the gift, man. So generous of you. Definitely not necessary, my guy, but it is much appreciated. Thank you so much. Man, I don't know if I got anything else for you guys. It's fun on a weekend like this. Like weeknights, I'm in the grind of the work week, and it's just tough to go too long. But Sunday afternoon, we're just chilling right now. I'm going through my my Twitter feed, my X feed right now. I'm just trying to see if I missed anything that I talked about today. I think we pretty much covered it, in all honesty. Yeah, I think we got to most everything, man. How about that? Gee, good stuff. Hey, anything else? Do I think Cauley makes opening day roster? I'm going to say no. I wouldn't mind if he did, and I'd be happy, in fact, if Cam Cauley did make the opening day roster. I'm going to say no, but I do think Cam Cauley is going to be up with the club this year at some point, maybe sooner rather than later. Keep going. Defense may be less stellar. Yeah, you lose a Gold Glove in Marcus Semien. Yeah, I know everybody is maybe happy that they don't have to watch the ABs anymore, but Marcus Semien was outstanding with the glove at second base. That is going to be missed. For sure going to be missed. The approach does seem to have improved. Skip Schumacher wants to see the ball get put in play more. That was an Achilles heel for Texas last year. They could not go station to station. They could not play situational baseball. The situational hitting was bad at times. Just terrible. You'd get a runner on third, nobody out, and you would be seriously doubting whether or not the Rangers would score a run. It just can't happen. Charles, appreciate the follow, by the way. Thank you so much. Can't happen. You cannot have a runner on second, runner on third, nobody out, and get 0 runs. Shoot, the Rangers would load the bases last year, and you would be saying your prayers that we would get 1 run across. You've got to be better situational hitting this year. I really hope it does appear so far so good in the spring, but I really hope it carries over into the regular season. Daniel, what's good, man? Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you. Brad, have a good day. God bless. Man, good stuff. Hey, I know we've been talking about the Discord a little bit here and there throughout the show. The one thing that I monetized on the channel, it's a great community of people. If you don't know what Discord is, basically a place where we hang out, chat, talk ball. So if you want to be a part of that group, great group of people. It's the one thing I've monetized here on the show. It's $2.99 a month. All you have to do is become a member on YouTube or become a subscriber on TikTok. Brad, one of my first subscribers of all time, by the way. Good to see you, brother, as always. Again, that's the one thing that I've made kind of like paywall-esque. I want everything to pretty much always be free on the show if I can help it. But if you would like to become a part of that awesome community, consider becoming a member. Hit the join button on YouTube, subscribe on TikTok. Thanks for considering it. But look, just being here right now, hanging out, it's good enough for me, man. Thank you for the follows, the comments, the likes on the show today. It's been great. And by the way, this is the vibe. We do this all the time. Regular season starts up. It's going to be pretty much every game, post-game, 8th, 9th inning, sometimes in-game analysis. It's great. You definitely want to follow if you're a Rangers fan and you're looking for something a little bit different than the traditional post-game stuff. It's a great time. I love hanging out with you guys, and helps me to fulfill my dream of calling games. I always wanted to be, when I was growing up, I wanted to be a baseball player, but then I thought, man, it'd be fun to like get to call the games. This is a very, very cool alternative, though. I'll take this all day long. So, hey, look, we do Thursdays and Sundays during spring training. And of course, if the Rangers, anything significant, like we're talking big time stuff happens, news coming out of camp, we'll get on, do a little emergency pod. But for right now, pretty consistent rhythm. Thursdays, Sundays. It's been great. So appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for your time today. Thanks for hanging out. I definitely am looking forward to seeing what transpires over the next few days, who stays hot, who continues to keep that stock going up, up, up. It is going to be so much fun over the next few weeks. By the way, I'm on X as well. Follow me over there on X, formerly Twitter. I'm on Facebook, Threads, pretty much anything. So if you want to keep up with me during the week, definitely hit that up too. That's available to you also. Hope you have a blessed rest of the Sunday. I'm going to go hang out with the fam, get something to eat here, and do a few things around the house before the work week gets back in action. But I hope you have a good one. We'll see you guys on Thursday. And as I always say to end every show, God bless and go Rangers.